it's not possible to do everything perfect. But in my mind, I believed if I do everything perfect, I wouldn't have any problems. I wouldn't have any conflict. So that's why I did everything perfect just to avoid conflict. I did that most of my life, everything perfect. And for what? Why would I want everything to be perfect? I know why, because it's trauma.
Welcome to the How to Heart Show, helping men reconnect to the heart and empower others as the leaders they were born to be. I'm Vincent Hazenboom. The world needs the raw and authentic men right now. Join us if you're ready to make a change.
Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to the How to Heart Show. Perfectionism. Man, I struggled my entire life trying to be perfect, to make everything perfect. And it was so difficult. It was so exhausting. I wanted to do everything perfect. When I was driving on the freeway, I was driving exactly the same speed that I need to hold on. So 120 miles per hour, 70 miles per hour, 50 miles per hour. I tried to do exactly perfect as I could. And the reason was I didn't want to get a fine, or when the police stopped me, I need to talk to them. And it was with everything. Books that was crooked. I need to put everything straight in order. It was crazy, crazy to do everything in the perfect place, everything in the perfect order. Perfect, 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 everything perfect. And on my journey for healing myself and go into therapy and all of that, I realized that I do it to avoid conflict with people. Also at work. At work, I did everything as perfect as I could. Everything. And the reason that I did it, I wouldn't get punished. I wouldn't get, my boss wouldn't come up to me and say like, hey, you need to do this, or hey, you need to change that. I wanted to do everything perfect. And I will tell you what, it was exhausting. It isn't worth it to be this perfect person. It's not possible to do everything perfect. But in my mind, I believed if I do everything perfect, I wouldn't have any problems. I wouldn't have any conflict. So that's why I did everything perfect just to avoid conflict. And I did that most of my life, guys. Everything perfect. And for what? Why would I want everything to be perfect? I know why, because it's trauma. I've been so traumatized when I was younger that I believed if I do everything correct, do everything right, again, I wouldn't get any problems. I wouldn't have any issues. And I believed I would have a carefree life. But it was exactly the opposite, because I was just suffering. I was struggling with people, with connections, with work. And I got the opposite. And it's really trauma. It was really the traumas that I got again. That's what I did the digging the most. I was always wondering why I'm being so perfect. And I talked with so many people, and I heard so many friends of mine and the people that I talk to, it always connects with trauma. It always connects also with being a nice guy. You want to be perfect in a perfect relation. You want to please this person in a perfect way. So you won't have any problems. But every time I talk to them, I hear trauma, trauma, trauma. It's all or conditioning. Or I have a really good friend of mine. He wanted to please his father. So he did everything perfect. And it's really sad because he's working his ass off. I worked my ass off just to please a few people. They gonna maybe not recognize you. They're not gonna see what you did. They're gonna forget what you did. So why go through all that just to please people, to make everything perfect for other people and yourself? But that was really hard. That was really hard for me to understand that I need to let go of being a perfect person. You have to let go. I had to let go of being perfect. So I really wanted to make this episode because it really consumed or took over my life to be this perfect person. And I see so many people struggling being perfect. I got so nervous if I need to do something and I need to be perfect. For example, I need to measure something. Usually I didn't do it. I said somebody else needs to do it. I was not confident about my skills, about myself of doing it, because I was so afraid of making mistakes that they will talk to me like, hey, you didn't make a mistake. So also that making mistakes, I was so afraid of making mistakes. So I tried so hard to make everything perfect so I wouldn't make mistakes. Also with women, when I wanted to go out, I was planning my conversations in my head with women so I didn't make mistakes. I want to have perfect results. So yeah, again, it's so important that I share this because not many people realize that it can influence your life dramatically. Hey Lions, I'm back. I just lost my camera. It's so annoying. I have that a lot of times. So I really need to figure out what to do. Also here, it's the perfect thing. Like nothing happens in a perfect way. So you will see, I can be angry, I can be upset. The first thing that came into my mind was I need to do the recording again. But why? It was such a good part of me explaining that. So why would I start again? Those things happen. I don't have control over anything. That's also the thing with being perfectionist. I wanted to have control over everything, controlling my interactions, my situations, the things I do. And a part, yeah, I have control over my actions, but I don't have control over other people's actions. So before I cut off, I really want to share with you that you have to learn to stop being perfectionist because again, it's gonna consume your life. It's gonna make your life so hard. And I know it isn't easy because I didn't want to make mistakes. I didn't want to go on my face. So it took a long time for me to really let go of the persona that I created of being perfectionist. So learn to do that. What can you do to stop being a perfectionist? You know, it can also help you because if you want to do something, for example, with my podcast, I want to make videos not perfect, but in the best way that I can, in a perfect way. But it always drives me to look for new ways to improve, new ways to make my podcast better, make my sound quality better. So it's not being in the perfect way, but I strive to look for ways to improve my quality of my podcast. So it can also be a good thing. But I remember when I did the podcast, I wanted to have the recording perfect. I wanted to have the episode perfect. No, everything need to be perfect. And sometimes I spent hours and hours and hours on that. But once I realized I started to do the podcast and upload my videos, not so many views in the beginning. So then I realized like I put so much work in my editing, in my videos, and now a few people are watching it. And also I got close to a burnout when I was younger and also with the podcast because I want to have everything perfect. So it's not worth it, guys, to have everything perfect. Not in your life, not in your business, not in your relationships. It's okay to be imperfect. So the things that I want to share with you is what can you do? Accept that you're perfectionist. That's the first thing that you have to do. Be aware that you want to create everything perfect. The second thing that I've learned is it doesn't work in your favor to be a perfectionist. Like I mentioned, it's gonna be really hard for you. It's gonna be really challenging for you to do everything perfect, and it's not worth it. Give it time. Give it time to let go. Give it time to let go of being perfectionist and also learn and understand where it's coming from. I've really learned it was my trauma in my past that I created this behavior. So if people got angry at me, I create this persona to make everything perfect so people wouldn't get angry with me if I did something wrong. So I was so afraid of failure, but it can also be helping you to have a better understanding of yourself and a better understanding of life itself. What else? Yeah, I think that's it. That's really come to mind is really understanding where it's coming from. Be aware and also do digging, do some research, learn why you have this behavior, why you are being so perfect. Why are you trying to be so perfect when you can be imperfect? People like you just as much if you're just being imperfect. So that's really want to share. And I was also considering if I want to mention this book, but also it's all coming together. If you're just a nice guy as well, it's trying to be perfect, trying to please people because you want to have this perfect little life and life isn't perfect. So a book that I can recommend is No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover. And it helped me a lot, but really I got a lot of insights of understanding my behavior, go deep into the trauma and also do the shadow work. Go to the pain points, go to the deep traumas and solve them. Heal yourself from it. And it's gonna make your life so much better. Now that I'm less a perfectionist, my life is so much better, so much richer. I don't care that much anymore if I do something wrong. Still I have my moments, but yeah, it is what it is. I don't have to remove it all. It can also, like I said, be a good way for me to focus on my goals and push myself further or the podcast to make it better. But don't go crazy. Don't put yourself in a burnout. So yeah, I think that's it what I want to say. Try to let go of being imperfect. It's not easy. I know it's been hard. I've been my entire life being a perfect person and it's not the way to live. You really have to learn to let go of being a perfectionist and your life is going to be so much better.
Hey Lions, thank you for listening. Glad to have you on our journey to the authentic self. Want to learn more to embrace your potential? I invite you to keep listening. Do me a favor and smash the like and subscribe buttons, as this helps the show reach more listeners who need to hear these messages. See you next time.